What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Crypto Kings. My name is Jason, and today we're going to dive into some strategies for buying Pulse by going through a few scenarios of what might happen so you could be most prepared to get in at the right time. It's important to note that this is not financial advice whatsoever, but more of an insight of my strategy at PulseChain's launch on how I plan on buying more Pulse based on what I've seen in the crypto sphere and the psychology of people in this market. Everyone's financial situations are different, and there are hundreds of variables in your unique life that should have an influence on your decision. This educational content is to get you better equipped for what can happen after launch to hopefully optimize your potential gains. And with that being said, let's dive in. With sacrifices still happening every day, the current rate is over 100x the price from days 1 through 5 in the sacrifice phase. Although Pulse will technically launch with no value, the automated market makers and first transactions on Pulse will determine its newly found price. I anticipate that this price will be much higher than the 0.00001 from initial sacrifices. But regardless of where the price starts, there is a massive community of people out there who have been anxiously waiting for the launch and their opportunity to buy Pulse. Between my friends and family alone, I know there's hundreds of thousands of dollars that will be flooding in. And I'm only a small fish in this big pond of great YouTubers educating people on this opportunity. And any OG Hexakin or newly found Poseidon is surely informing anyone they care about of this amazing opportunity as well. With that kind of massive attention right at launch, there will be incredible buy pressure across the market, as even those who have sacrificed like myself are looking to get bigger bags in Pulse. So with this kind of buy pressure, we need to take a look at who would be selling after launch and providing liquidity. So where will the sell supply come from? Well, the only available supply will be in the hands of those who sacrificed. As an assumption, I would guess that a great portion of large investors are OG Hexakins and those who have followed Richard Heart for a long time. The other portion would be from those that have heard of the project, understands its incredible system and value, and have taken a look at Richard Heart's track record to see that he has already created the top appreciating asset in the crypto sphere within the first 2 years of Hex's launch. So, from what I assume will be the absolute majority of those who have sacrificed and controlling the supply of how much Pulse can be sold. I believe their mentalities better understand that selling within the first year or two would be like shooting themselves in the foot, as they would miss potential exponential profits from there. With alternatives such as staking their Pulse to receive interest on it, opposed to selling during this time, and protocols like liquid loans where you can vault your Pulse for stable coins instead of selling, I truly foresee a very limited supply of Pulse for sale. And that's coming from primarily weak hands that are happy with the relatively smaller returns or collecting small profits in their journey to have a better quality of life now within that first year. So let's jump into the first scenario to see how I believe this may play out. So scenario 1. The initial price for Pulse starts significantly higher than day 1 through 5's sacks. The buy pressure severely outweighs those selling immediately for quick profits, driving up the price quickly. Seeing such massive movements and gains, short-term players may look to cash in on the quick profits, or long-term players believing this same scenario will take place will sell off a portion of their bag. This may cause a quick panic of other weak-handed individuals as the price dips, and they look to liquidate in order to secure their profits before it dips lower by 60 and up to maybe 95% from its launch price. And that would be throughout a short cycle of a month to maybe 3 months. In this situation, it may take some time and a heavy stomach if you bought in on day 1 of launch to watch a value slip away before recovering later down the road to just break even again. We've seen this action happen countless of times after a new project's launch. The key differentiating part from all other projects that I've personally researched is that the people are still sacrificing at 100 times or more from the initial sacrifice days. And that Richard Heart's track record of getting into Bitcoin back when he was mining 50 coins per block and Hex doing over 10,000x in the first 2 years provides confidence to Pulse investors that this project has truly amazing long-term potential. Let's go into scenario 2 now. The vast majority of people understand well enough the price potential of the coin and don't want to let it go. They take full advantage of the staking mechanisms early on to avoid the crazy volatility expected within the first few months to avoid making any trades. With a further limited supply, we may see a massive influx in price shortly after launch. But then, when the price starts correcting, Pulse will still find significantly higher lines of support compared to its launch price. From there, Pulse continues through its cycles of bull runs, pullbacks, corrections, and continuously hold higher lines of support as majority of people decide to stake and earn interest on their coins rather than keeping them liquid. So the launch price may be the only time that Pulse sees those prices again. Now personally, I believe scenario 1 is more likely to occur as the psychological mindset of average people in this market will collect quick profits, cause a stir in the space, crumble other weak hands on the post-launch dip, and leave the system with those only looking at the long-term potential, as we've seen after many new projects. As pointed out earlier, of the key differentiating factors of people still sacrificing at 100x the price and Richard's track record, I can realistically see the chart doing something new too. So, what is my buy-in strategy for Pulse given these two situations? So to understand why my strategy is optimal in my mind, it's important to understand a few key variables that may differ from your situation. First, I've already sacrificed a substantial amount through days 1 through 5. That if I don't buy more Pulse after launch, I'm completely satisfied with my current position. Second, I have a substantial amount of my portfolio in Hex, with majority staked in a ladder for the next 1 to 15 years. Third, I am cash flow positive, coming in from multiple sources, giving me the freedom to invest more. And lastly, I like to invest long term, not for short term profits. So with those factors in mind, my optimal solution for my situation is to simply do a moving price average on buy-ins. From the delegated amount of money I have set aside, my plan is to use roughly 20% of that pot to buy in immediately at launch. Then, the remaining 80% will be divided up into weekly buy-ins at Pulse's current price over the next 2 months. Regardless if I'm able to buy the absolute lows or 10, 50, or even 100x higher than those initial sacrifice prices, I will still be happy with my moving average of that. And the extra Pulse coins, regardless of the buy-in prices, as I plan on keeping all my Pulse for essentially decades and utilizing the liquid loan protocol when I am looking to take money out. So in terms of Bitcoin, just for reference, that would be at prices of $5, $25, and $50 respectively. So in the grand scheme of things, zooming out and looking long term can put things in incredible perspective, and why I would still be happy paying 100 times the initial price if that's where the price lies that week of my moving buy-ins. I hope I was able to help you guys understand some potential price situations and how I plan on handling the crazy volatility expected post-launch. If you have a long-term plan, write it down. Don't lose your faith early and miss out on the new prosperity to come. Now, before you go, don't forget to subscribe and turn those notifications on. Smash that like button, share this video with anyone planning on buying into Pulse, and drop a comment on how I did, or if you think there are more factors to take into consideration for possible scenarios. I'd love to hear it all, and I'm always happy to provide further clarification if you have any questions. Be on the lookout for the next video, so you too can become a king of cryptos.